Cassie has an Am I the A-hole from Reddit here in just a couple of seconds about the ex having a say in their kid's Halloween costume. We could also, let's do this now, jump in on these daycare workers. I don't even know what state this was in, man.
I can't.
I think it was Mississippi. These daycare workers, there were 3 of them. And
there's more than 3 that got arrested.
Is that right?
Four that got arrested. Mm-hmm.
So you want to kind of paint the picture here of what it looked like, Cass?
Sure. It was actually, so there are 5 workers involved total. It was a daycare in Hamilton, Mississippi, and they put on a mask similar to the one from the Scream movies, like the big white ghost mask with the open, gaping mouth and the creepy eyes. Well, it was similar to that. And they got in the faces of the kids at this daycare, even when the kids were crying and screaming and hiding their faces to scare them. So there are 4 of them that were charged with 3 counts of felony child abuse in Monroe County, and they're all in their 20s. And then the 5th one was charged with failure to report abuse by a mandatory reporter.
And these kids were like 3 and 4 years old, right?
They're toddlers.
Yeah, little.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the name of the daycare is Little Blessings Child Care and Learning Center. They're these cute little kids, and the people who were supposed to keep them safe donned the scariest masks you could think possible and got in their faces and screamed at them to try and scare them. And so the parents are pissed off. One saying her kid is traumatized. He's regressed in terms of sleep and potty training. They're back to square one. She has to keep reassuring him that he is safe at home. And the last I saw, the moms and the parents were considering, weren't going to sue because they know that the daycare workers weren't going to be able to pay up, but they were going to see what happened legally before they pursued that route.
Yeah, when the video first surfaced and was going viral, and I watched it, as a mother of a toddler right now, watching these women go around the room, and also we're telling them because they'd been bad. That's why this person had come to scare them, because they had been bad, and just going around the room and to multiple kids, and the way they were laughing, and these kids, their screams and their cries and their tears. It made me physically ill to watch that video. And now every time, because it's gone viral, it's constantly in my Instagram feed and constantly in my Twitter feed. I have to scroll past it as fast as I can, because it's very upsetting.
It really is, man. And I've said this before also. Look, our kids, our children are the most precious things in our lives. So for me to turn the most precious thing in my life over to you, I'm assuming you have the same level of responsibility I do. There is nothing in my life more important. So anybody in that kind of power position that destroys that trust or betrays that trust, that's the worst, man. I mean, that really, 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 it's gut-wrenching.
It was so gross, and it's so hard to stomach and watch. Ugh. And I mean, some people are like, oh, it's just a mask, you're just scaring kids. People out there do worse. Yeah, people out there do worse, but guess what? This is bad too.
Yeah, yeah. So that goes into the Hall of Fame of a-holes. So what's the question for the second one?
The second one is he the a-hole for making his son's Halloween costume without letting his ex have a say in it? And here's what he writes. My days with my son are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and half a Wednesday. Since Halloween is on a Monday this year, he's going to be trick-or-treating with me. So I put together a really cute Halloween costume for the 2 of us. I got the last piece for his costume yesterday, and I asked him if he wanted to try it on. He did, and we took some super cute pictures. I sent the pictures to the family group chat. My ex called me and asked me if that was supposed to be my son's Halloween costume. I said that it was, and she asked me what was wrong with me. She said we had to decide together what my son's Halloween costume was. And I asked why, since Halloween is on my day. The only holidays with special custodial provisions are Mother's Day, Father's Day, our birthdays, Christmas, and Thanksgiving, not Halloween. So I don't understand how she came to this conclusion. She said we both have the right to have a say in what our son wears because it reflects on both of us as parents. It's a Halloween costume. How does it, quote, reflect on us? The argument was getting repetitive and heated, so I exercised my 24-hour card and postponed the conversation for 24 hours. But I have to finish the conversation today. Honestly, I'm kind of baffled. My plan is just to tell her that Halloween will fall on her days in 2024 and 2025, so she has a lot of time to plan 2 awesome Halloween costumes. But before I do that, I just need a reality check. Is this a bigger deal than I realize? Am I actually an a-hole?
Did it say there how long they've been divorced? Because This feels like a rookie season of divorce right here.
It did not say.
So I've said this before. Sometimes I feel like I say the same things on the show over and over again. But giving up that kind of control when you're a co-parent and the situation has changed so much where you're doing 50-50, it is so hard initially to give up that control because the routine that you guys have is you're making decisions together for the family. But the truth of the matter is, once you get to be an experienced co-parent and a little bit more down the line with divorce, you realize like you got to give up some of that control. So the day that you have the kids, if it's on Halloween, you get to say in what they're wearing, and it's really not a group decision.
Well, while you ponder, I don't think he's an a-hole for this at all. I mean, it would have been nice of him to, I guess, reach out and say, this is what I'm thinking for Halloween, and I guess hear her out if she did have an opinion, but I don't think he was obligated to do it, being that it doesn't say that anywhere, and it's just Halloween.
So because I have questions.
Yeah. And let's hope you never have to go through this for sure,
I
right?
know, right? So if it's on, so he has him on, and we're going to take Halloween out of this for a second, because I don't think he's the a-hole, by the way. So what if his son is at his house and he's like, my son can start dating when he's 14, but mom's like, no, he can't start dating till he's 16, but son's at my house. So that means if he wants to go on a date, he can when he's 14. Like, how do you remedy those situations?
Yeah, that is a much bigger issue. So that is one that me and my ex would talk about together.
Okay.
But as far as a Halloween costume goes, when you're toddlers, that is way down on the list. But you're talking about something so different there that we would have to get on the same philosophical page.
I just worry about this would set the tone for like future arguments.
Yeah, I don't know what. I mean, we could go down the line of things that you should probably talk about together, and things that aren't as important.
Because it's not black and white.
But that one's important. Yeah.
Because what might be important to one person isn't important to another. So obviously, this Halloween costume is important to her, but it's not important to him.
So I'll give you a great example here, and I haven't talked about this on the show yet, but I've got a 15-year-old that I'm comfortable spending the night by himself, even if he has a guy friend over my house by himself. My ex-wife is not down with that. So that is a conversation that she and I are going to have. That's an important one right there.
Gotcha.
Halloween costume, I don't care.
I kind of want to know what he's dressing the kid up as she thinks it's a poor reflection on the family.
I know, right?
It's Speedy the Archer. I'm not familiar with the character, but that's what it is. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say no one is the a-hole here. He is not the a-hole for assuming, but also I found out the kid's 3. And so if I think of my 3-year-old and not being able to have a say in what she dresses up as, especially coming out of the pandemic when you probably skipped at least one of the Halloweens, I would be upset. I would want to be in on that and just have a say in that memory, even if I'm not the one trick-or-treating. So I kind of also get mom's standpoint from this.
Well, my advice to you is stay married.
I can't make miracles happen, okay?
That won't be an issue.
The Bert Show.
Like what you just watched, you can get more of The Bert Show by listening to our podcast. You can find us anywhere on your favorite podcasting service.